The public library on Main Street was busiest on Saturday afternoons. Families with children, students studying, people using computers. The quiet hum of learning and community. Donald Trump spent most Saturday afternoons there. 73 years old, retired Army sergeant, he helped in the computer lab, teaching seniors how to use email, showing people how to apply for jobs online. Simple volunteer work that made a difference. That Saturday in March, Donald was helping an elderly woman set up an email account when he noticed something. A boy, maybe 10 years old, sitting alone at a table in the children's section, surrounded by books, but he wasn't reading. He was crying, quietly, trying not to be noticed. If you believe that the children no one sees are the ones who need help most, type notice and subscribe. Because this story proves that heroes are people who pay attention to the invisible. Donald finished helping the woman, then walked over to the boy, approached carefully, didn't want to scare him. "Hey there, you okay?" The boy looked up, eyes red, face wet with tears. He nodded quickly, wiped his face. "I'm fine. You don't look fine. Mind if I sit?" The boy shrugged. Donald sat down, looked at the stack of books. "That's a lot of books. You like reading?" The boy nodded. "Yeah." "What's your favorite?" The boy pointed to a book about space. "This one? About astronauts and planets? That's a good one. You want to be an astronaut?" The boy's face lit up for a moment, then dimmed. "Yeah, but that's impossible." "Why impossible?" "Because." The boy looked down. "Because kids like me don't become astronauts." "What do you mean, kids like you?" The boy was quiet for a long moment, then quietly. "Kids whose dads are in jail, kids whose moms work 3 jobs, kids who live in shelters. Kids like me." Donald's chest tightened. "What's your name?" The boy hesitated. "Marcus. I'm Donald." "Nice to meet you, Marcus. How old are you?" 10. "And you're here alone?" Marcus nodded. "My mom works on Saturdays. I come here because it's warm and safe. And there are books? How do you get here?" "I walk. It's only 2 miles." Donald processed this, a 10-year-old walking 2 miles alone to sit in a library and cry over books about astronauts because he thinks his dreams are impossible. That's a lot for anyone, especially a child. "Marcus, why were you crying?" The boy's voice broke. "Because I'm reading about all these amazing things, all these people who did incredible stuff, and I know I'll never do any of it." "Why not?" "Because of where I come from, because of my family, because people like me don't get to do those things." "Who told you that?" "No one had to tell me. I just know. Everyone at school knows. The kids with money, they're going to college. They're going to be doctors and lawyers and scientists. Kids like me, we're going to be nothing." Donald was quiet for a moment, then spoke gently. "Marcus, can I tell you something?" "Okay, I grew up poor. Really poor. My father was in and out of work. We moved constantly, lived in rough neighborhoods. I wore the same clothes to school every day because we couldn't afford more." Marcus looked up. "Really?" "Really. And everyone told me I wouldn't amount to anything, that kids from my background didn't make it, didn't succeed." "What happened?" "I joined the Army, spent 43 years serving my country, went places I never dreamed I'd go, did things I never thought I could do, became someone I never thought I'd be. Not because I was special, but because I refused to believe that where I started determined where I'd end up. But that's different. Why? Because you're strong, you're smart." Marcus couldn't finish. Donald leaned forward. "You're just what?" 10 years old and already reading at what looks like a high school level. 10 years old and walking 2 miles alone to educate yourself because you value learning. 10 years old and dreaming about space even though everyone's told you it's impossible. That's not weakness, Marcus. That's strength. The boy's eyes filled with tears again. "But I don't have money for college. I don't have a dad to help me. I don't have anything. You have time, You have curiosity. You have determination. That's more than enough to start with. But how? How do I go from here to astronaut? You don't, not all at once. You go from here to tomorrow, from tomorrow to next week, from next week to next month. You focus on what you can control, your grades, your learning, your effort. The rest will come. But what if it doesn't? Then you'll have tried. And trying is never wasted. Even if you don't become an astronaut, you might become an engineer, or a teacher, or a scientist, or something else amazing. The point isn't the destination, Marcus. It's refusing to let anyone tell you that you don't deserve to dream. They sat together for a while. Then Donald asked, "Where's your mom work?" "She cleans offices, 3 different buildings, works from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays." "What time does she pick you up?" "She doesn't. I walk home." "When?" "When the library closes." "At 5 p.m. Donald looked at his watch. 2 p.m. 3 more hours of this boy sitting alone. "Marcus, how about this? I come here every Saturday. How about we make this our time? You bring your books. I'll help you with anything you need. Math, science, reading, whatever. We'll work together." "Why would you do that?" "Because I believe you can do amazing things, and everyone needs someone who believes in them." Marcus looked uncertain, but hopeful. "Okay." The next Saturday, Marcus was there, with his space books and his math homework. Donald helped him. They worked for 3 hours. The Saturday after that, the same. Week after week. Marcus brought his homework. Donald helped him understand concepts, encouraged him, pushed him to think bigger. 2 months in, Marcus brought a school project. It was about the solar system. He'd worked hard on it, but the presentation board was cheap. The materials were basic, because that's all his mother could afford. Donald looked at it. "This is good work, Marcus. Really good. But what if we made it even better?" "How?" "I'll show you." They went to a craft store. Donald bought better materials, helped Marcus rebuild the project. Professionally, impressively. Marcus presented it at school, got first place. Came to the library the next Saturday, beaming. "I won, Mr. Donald, I won." Donald smiled. "Of course you did. You did great work." But Marcus wasn't done. "My teacher said it was the best project she'd seen in years. Said I should think about science competitions, regional stuff, but I can't do those." "Why not?" "They cost money, entry fees, transportation, materials. We don't have that." Donald thought for a moment. What if we figured it out together? Over the next year, Donald helped Marcus enter 3 science competitions. Helped him prepare, drove him to competitions when his mother couldn't, paid entry fees without telling Marcus or his mother. Marcus won 2, placed second in the 3rd. His confidence grew. His grades improved. His dreams felt less impossible. One Saturday, Marcus brought a letter. "Mr. Donald, look, it was an acceptance letter to a summer science program at a university, full scholarship for gifted students." Marcus was crying. Happy tears this time. "I got in. They picked me. Out of hundreds of kids, they picked me." Donald felt his throat tighten. "Of course they did. You're brilliant, but I wouldn't have applied if you hadn't helped me, if you hadn't believed in me." "That's not true. You would have found a way." "Maybe. But it would have been harder and lonelier." That summer, Marcus attended the program, came back transformed, more confident, more certain, met other kids who loved science, professors who encouraged him, possibilities he'd never imagined. 2 years later, Marcus was 12, still came to the library every Saturday, still worked with Donald. One day he asked a question. "Mr. Donald, why do you help me?" "Because I believe in you." "But you don't get anything out of it." "You don't get paid? You don't get anything?" Donald smiled. "I get to watch you become who you're meant to be. That's worth more than money. Marcus looked at him seriously. When I become an astronaut, I'm going to tell everyone about you, about how you helped me believe I could do it. Donald's eyes were wet. That would be an honor. But here's the thing, Marcus. When you make it, when you achieve your dreams, I want you to do something for me. What? Find another kid like you, a kid who thinks dreams are impossible, and help them believe. Promise? Marcus extended his hand. They shook on it. Promise. 3 years later, Marcus was 15, straight-A student, member of 3 science clubs, already taking college-level courses, applying for competitive high school programs. Donald still helped him every Saturday. One day, Marcus's mother came to the library, asked to speak with Donald. Mrs. Johnson. Donald stood up. Is everything okay? She was crying. I wanted to thank you for what you've done for my son. I just help with homework. No, you gave him hope. You gave him a future. Before you, he thought he was nothing, thought he'd be nothing. Now he talks about MIT, about NASA, about becoming an astronaut. And he believes it's possible, because you believed in him first. Donald didn't know what to say. He's a special kid. He's my whole world. His father is in prison. Will be for another 10 years. I work constantly just to keep us housed and fed. I couldn't give Marcus the attention he needed, the support, the belief. But you did. You filled in where I couldn't. She hugged him, cried on his shoulder. Thank you. Thank you for saving my son. 5 years later, Marcus graduated high school. Valedictorian, full scholarship to MIT, aerospace engineering. Donald attended his graduation, sat with Marcus's mother, watched this young man, who'd once cried in a library about impossible dreams, give a speech about the power of mentorship and belief. Marcus spoke about Donald, about Saturday afternoons, about a 73-year-old veteran who refused to let a crying 10-year-old think he was destined for nothing. The audience gave Donald a standing ovation. He was embarrassed, proud, overwhelmed. After the ceremony, Marcus found him. We did it, Mr. Donald. We did it. You did it, Marcus. You put in the work. But you gave me the foundation, the belief, the support. Everything built on that. Donald hugged him. I'm so proud of you, Marcus pulled back. And I'm keeping my promise? What promise? To help another kid. There's a boy at my mom's church, 9 years old, smart but struggling. Thinks he can't succeed because of where he comes from. I'm going to start working with him. This summer, before I leave for MIT, show him what's possible. Donald felt something complete in his chest. That's perfect, Marcus. That's exactly right. Today, Marcus is at MIT studying aerospace engineering, maintains a 3.9 GPA, mentors 3 younger students from disadvantaged backgrounds, already has internship offers from NASA and SPACEX, and every Saturday he video calls Donald. They talk about classes, about dreams, about the future, and about the boy Marcus is now mentoring, teaching him that where you start doesn't determine where you end up. One Saturday afternoon, 10 years after that first meeting, Donald sat in the same library, at the same table, helping another child with homework. This one was 8 years old, struggling with math, doubting herself. Donald was patient, encouraging, showed her that she was capable of more than she believed. A teenager approached. Excuse me, sir, are you Donald Trump? Donald looked up. Yes. The teenager smiled. I'm Alex, Marcus's little brother. Well, not really his brother, but he mentors me. Told me about you, about how you helped him when he was 10, how you changed his life. He said, if I ever saw you here, I should say thank you. Because what you started with him, he's continuing with me. And someday, I'll continue it with someone else. Donald smiled. That's good. That's exactly right. How's Marcus doing? Amazing. He's doing research with actual NASA scientists. As an undergrad, says he's going to walk on Mars someday. Donald believed him. Probably will. Alex sat down. Can I tell you something? Of course. When Marcus told me his story about crying in the library because he thought he'd never be anything, I cried too. Because that's exactly how I felt. Like I was stuck. Like nothing good would ever happen. But then Marcus said someone believed in him when no one else did. And now he believes in me. And because of that, I believe in myself. That's powerful. Alex nodded. He said you taught him that dreams aren't impossible. They're just hard. And hard isn't the same as impossible. Donald felt his eyes water. That sounds like something Marcus would say. Because you taught it to him first, and now he's teaching it to me. And someday, I'll teach it to someone else. That's how we change the world. One Saturday afternoon at a time. If you believe that helping one child dream creates a chain of dreamers, hit like, type believe in the comments, and subscribe. Because this story proves that heroism isn't always dramatic rescues. Sometimes it's Saturday afternoons. Sometimes it's homework help. Sometimes it's refusing to let a crying 10-year-old believe he's destined for nothing. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is sit down next to a child and say, I believe in you. Your dreams aren't impossible, and I'll help you get there. One Saturday, one child, one belief, infinite ripples,